somebody was to ask me, what are things that you don't like? What are the things you hate? This is my list.
I'm not worried about nothing, I'm just living my life. I'm not worried about nothing, taking it one day at a time. I'm not worried about nothing, no, 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 no. I'm free as a bird in a fire.
So the title is 7 Things That I Hate. Hate is a strong word and you're not really supposed to use it. I used it in the title because it works. It sounds better than 7 things I strongly dislike. Most of them are going to be about types of people or things that people do that I just do not like. When I tell you, you're going to feel at least 6 out of the 7 things. You're going to be like, wow, she is on to something. She's in my head. The things I list are in no particular order. They all, as far as I'm concerned, can be number 1 because I can't stand none of them. But here it goes. Number 1, you know the saying, misery loves company? It really does. If you're the type of person that if you're miserable, you want everyone else around you to be miserable, I can't have you around. You'd be surprised by the amount of people who are like that. I'm the type of person, if my friend is doing well, I'm clapping for you. I'm excited for you because guess what? My time is going to come. And when my time comes, I want you to be up. I want you to be doing well. Why do you want to be up here and you want all your friends and your family to be down here? That makes no sense. You want everybody to be winning with you. Guess what? If everyone is winning with you, no one's asking you for anything. People don't think. Clap for your people. Clap for your people because your time is gonna come. If you're the type of person that if something's not going right for you and you want me to be miserable with you, you're gonna get the scissors. Number 1 thing I hate are people that if things are not working in their favor, they want no one else to have a smile on their face. Number 2, I do not like people that don't take care of their dogs. Why are you getting an animal if you're not going to take care of it? That makes absolutely no sense. If you knew you couldn't afford to feed the dog, why'd you get it? If you knew you were going to be moving in 6 months, now you want to get rid of the dog, why'd you get it? Do not get an animal if you're not going to take care of it. I really saw this a lot when I used to deliver a mail. I used to bring lunch and I'd be feeding it to dogs on my route. It'd be dogs laying down in the hot sun with a heavy chain tied around their neck, panting. I literally would get out of my truck and pour water into my hand and let them lick water out of my hand because they didn't have any water out there and it's like 90 degrees. If you're going to have an animal, take care of it. Don't leave your animal outside all winter long. And you talk about he got water, but the bowl is frozen solid. Another thing, if you have an animal, your house, that's your animal's entire world. Like, why are you restricting them? That's like you going in your house, but you can't go in this room. You can't lay on this comfortable couch. You can't go in this room. The only thing you can do is just lay on the floor. Don't get an animal. An animal is not for you. Your house is their world. They should be able to be comfortable in their world. An animal is a big responsibility. Make sure you're willing to put time and effort into them. Take them on walks. Take them on rides in the car. Give them treats. Give them rubs. I cannot stand to see a neglected animal. And everything I'm saying, this goes for children too, but we're just talking about animals now. We're not going to get into that. But if you get a pet, take care of your pets. Please. Alright. Number 3, I hate when I'm excited to tell somebody a story and I start telling a story and they cut me off and they like, you told me that already. That is so rude. I've had people start telling me stories and it's like, oh man, I've heard this story before and I know it's going to be a long story and I don't have time to listen to that or whatever. It's a way to do everything tactfully. Girl, oh yeah, you did tell me about that. And then start throwing some facts out there about the story and so that she can be or he can be like, oh yeah, okay, I did tell you that. I didn't even know if I told you that. Blah, blah, blah. Y'all can talk about it for a minute or two instead of having to listen to the entire story. If you ever meet somebody and they start their stories out like, I don't know if I told you this already, but that means in their past they've dealt with somebody who really cut into them and it really that hurts your feelings when you trying to tell somebody and they just cut you off. Don't do that. Especially if they're like an older person or something like that. You'll take somebody from here, they'll be so excited to tell you and their whole mood. Somebody did that to me before. I was excited to tell them. They did that to me. Alright, well, I'll call you. I'll talk to you later. I don't have nothing to talk to you about. Like, you just literally took the little joy out of me. Don't do that. Do not do that to people. Don't burst somebody's bubble if you don't have to. Number 4, I listen to a lot of crime stories. They're intriguing to me. But I hate when either the narrator or the detective, they're like, yeah, she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. No, she wasn't. She was at work doing what she was supposed to be doing. Some maniac came in, kidnapped her, killed her, and left her in the field. She's an 8-year-old kid walking to school. She got snatched. Oh yeah, she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. No, she was where she was supposed to be at the time she was supposed to be there, walking to school before school starts. I cannot stand that. It's almost like you're making it the victim's fault. Also, watching those crime stories, I hate when a girl is raped and they're like, she was sexually assaulted. No, call a spade a spade. She was raped. Don't minimize the crime. He raped her. Oh, the word is too strong? Well, what was done with her was extremely wrong. You know, her life was taken from her. No, she was stabbed 23 times. She was murdered in cold blood. I'm about to get worked up. That irritates my spirit. They need to work on that in those crime stories. Do not place any blame on the victim and do not minimize the crime done against that individual. Number 5, I cannot stand when people use Cool Whip containers like they're Tupperware. Like, you're strange. When I was in college, I had a roommate. The entire semester, she reused the same Cool Whip container. The words were peeling off the side and she would just be using it. It had all sorts of streaks and stuff in it. It didn't even look clean, and you're putting food in there. You know what type of bacteria is crawling? They're just gross. To me, that's weird. That's strange. I know everyone has their flaws, but I mean, my baby, that's just ridiculous. Number 6, I hate when people can't see the error of their ways. There's not much I can say about that. I mean, if you know, you know. That's like the worst type of individual. It's everyone's fault but their own. But in reality, it's their fault and no one else's. Not being able to see the error of your ways is tragic. It will leave you in a bad place in life. It's something that happened to you 10, 15, 20 years ago. You cannot use it as a crutch throughout the remainder of your life. At some point, you have to get in the car, take the wheel, and drive it. You cannot continue to let the past drive your future. Take responsibility and keep going. And number 7, I really hate when people try to project their insecurities and their fears on you. Don't do that to me. I hate when people feel like they know what's best for you. Just because you were scared to move away, you were scared to leave that job, you were scared to get yourself out of a certain situation, don't project your concerns on another individual. Let them live their life. If they fall, they fall. Because guess what? If they fall, you're not going to be there. People are just there with mouth. Usually people don't need advice. Sometimes people just need a helping hand. But people are not willing to give a helping hand. Let people do what they're going to do, because at some point you were bumping your head, you were making mistakes. You can give someone advice and they end up making a decision that they regret for the rest of their life. Let people do their own things. If you see somebody, doing something real extreme, you can suggest something. But to just tell somebody, don't do that to people. Let them do what they're going to do. Especially if they're smart. If something does go wrong, they have the skills, they have the wherewithal to bounce back. They'll be fine. If you don't like what somebody's doing, they don't have to know that. When somebody has a dream, when somebody has a plan, you don't see what they see. You don't see their vision. And because you don't see their vision, you don't see how it could work out. Just let them go ahead and do what they do. If it doesn't work out, they'll be all right. Trust me. So that's that. Those are the 7 things that I do not like. Don't use Cool Whip containers. Do not project your doubts and insecurities on anybody. Do not be rude. Do not cut somebody off when they're trying to tell you a story. If you got a pet, take care of them. All these little crime story producers, don't minimize the crime. And do not victim blame. And do not be the type of person who cannot see when you are the reason for your problems. I am Cammie. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. If you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and go ahead and give me some feedback in the comments and tell me some things that you don't like, or if you agree or if you disagree with anything that I've said here today. Appreciate you.
I'm free.